makes logical sense. If how old's the father? Well, if it's from we don't know. There's an infinite number. That could make sense. But to say that, well, a day is 1,000 for us, that doesn't make sense. Not if those that say, well, we 6,000 years and they do the calculations that you hear it all the time, that the Lord will return this day, and they have this olive branch generation, 1948, Israel becoming a nation. Well, they just changed the generation. Usually a man has a son, 20, 21, I'll give you 30 years. Well, 48, 58, 68, 1978. Sorry, that doesn't work in the chronology. So, well, we're going to add some more years to it. And you hear all this goofy stuff, and people, the scriptures bear out, they will make merchandise of us, and they have been,
Right.
I'll go ahead and get off and let you finish your comment.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for your call. Please do call in again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Rick, we've still got enough time. We've got about 18 minutes. I know you were on characteristic number 9, correct?
Right.
If do you think you want to continue on, or did you want me to go ahead and speak to that point?
Well, let me look at my notes here. Yeah, actually, you can go ahead and go over it.
Okay. Okay, perfect. A couple things I want to mention, and to this gentleman, he mentioned one last thing I was recalling, is that he mentioned the scriptures that mention a day or as 1,000 years to the Lord and so on. And I think, I'm not sure if he was referencing the day for a year principle, which you had mentioned earlier, which is...
No, he was actually referencing in 2 Peter, where it says a day unto the Lord is like
1,000 years, right. Okay, so going back then, unrelated to that, to the call, but going back to our characteristics, I want to point out again real quick in the 5th characteristic, I think you touched on it, Rick, and I think maybe we could reiterate it, is that the 5th characteristic of this 4th beast that comes out of the sea, that arises, is diverse from the rest, diverse from the rest of the 10. And here's the point about that: is the other 10 kingdoms that occupied Western Europe, the tribes that I mentioned earlier, those were all strictly political kingdoms, strictly political, secular kingdoms, and in no way were religious by any stretch. I know that Rick mentioned this about the Vatican having numerous embassies and numerous diplomats around the world, and as well as the fact that it is a nation state. It is the smallest nation state on the planet. I forget how many acres it is, but that's what it's measured in, is acres, not square miles. It is small, as the prophecy mentions. It is a little horn, and just as though in reference to the Vatican being a small, tiny nation state, and that it is religious and political in nature. It is a religious political power in nature, and that's what makes it diverse from the previous 10. That could not be said about the apostate Protestant churches that occupy the world today. So I don't believe, again, to mention that this gentleman said, yes, the apostate churches are corrupt, and the horde that rides the beast will have daughters, but those daughters are not the beast that is diverse from the previous 10. And then to go into a little more depth in that, in Revelations chapter 13, this is, now I'm going to speak about the image of the beast. It says, this is Revelation 13:13 and 13:14. It says, he performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who was wounded and by the sword did live. So here's what this is saying, folks, is that this beast power will be able to perform miracles, and by that deceiving people will give power to the image of the beast. Now, when you think about it, we know what the beast is. The beast is a religious/hybrid political system. It is a religious political system. So the image of the beast must also be a religious and political system. And what else do religious systems do but enforce worship? A chip in your hand, a barcode tattoo, or some other form of social control does not constitute a forced religion or a forced worship service. It doesn't. So when it talks about worshiping the beast, I'm sorry, the social control mechanisms don't constitute worship. For when you think about it, for the Father to state that if you receive this form of social control, hypothetically speaking about, let's say, the mark of the chip, the microchip, or some other form, especially when something like that could be forced on you. I mean, 3 soldiers or law enforcement could hold you down and pump this thing into your arm. Is the Lord going to punish you for all eternity because of what other people forced on you? So this mark has to be something that cannot be forced on you. It is something you must willingly accept. So keep that in mind. So that is my sentiments about this mark of the beast, as well as the beast power and the image of the beast, which we will definitely get into a lot more, and not on the next show. The next show is Protestantism. Actually, yeah, we will. We'll talk about futurism, the theology of futurism as well. Anyways, that's. Rick? Did you have anything you wanted to add to that? We could even take a quick break here, gather our thoughts before we say
go to a break.
Okay, and then we've got a few minutes after that, and we'll say a few parting notes. But we'll be back in just a few minutes, folks. Stay tuned.
A website whose roots date back to the beginning of time, SabbathTruth.com is the definitive resource for Bible light on the Lord's Day. Clear Bible answers for every question you've ever had about the Sabbath. 7 key topic headings guide you through the purpose of the Sabbath, which day is the Lord's Day, the Sabbath and prophecy, questions about the Sabbath, how to keep it holy, the Sabbath and history, and many Sabbath resources. Visit SabbathTruth.com today and share your newfound treasure with a friend.
National Intelligence Director Dennis Blair, in open testimony before the House Intelligence Committee on February 3rd of this year, acknowledged that American citizens can indeed be assassinated at our government's discretion.
Brothers and sisters, you are listening to Truth About Sunday Worship Radio. We will continue with the scheduled programming in just a moment. If you have any questions or comments, or if you're a Christian who might be interested in helping to share these important truths in the last days, please contact us at truthaboutSundayWorship@gmail.com, or you can contact us through our website at truthaboutSundayWorship.com. Brothers and sisters, first and foremost, we want everyone to know that everything we share here at Truth About Sunday Worship Radio, we share it with a spirit of love and truth. When learning or hearing new information that makes you uncomfortable or disturbs you, please recognize that truth doesn't fear investigation, and that truth is the most important aspect of what we know. If we earn a doctorate degree in mythology, what have we really accomplished? And if what we already know turns out to be half-truths or truths mingled with error, isn't it better to find out sooner rather than later? And isn't it better to sleep well at night knowing that you've rooted out possible errors and that you're settled into or grounded in truth? Keep in mind Paul's plea to the Galatians. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Keep listening and root out the error, whether it's in what you're hearing or what you had believed to be the truth. On Truth About Sunday Worship Radio, you'll hear important truths on subjects like the